News keeps getting better for Texas as multiple players have just committed to the program. We got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Texas Football 365. If you are a Texas Longhorn football fan, please hit that subscribe button. Only 4.1% of viewers are subscribed to the channel, and it really helps me out a ton. But let's jump right into what we got for today because it has been a busy day for people around the Longhorns program. Starting off with a new commitment from wide receiver Kyron Brown. As you can see up top, hard commit 6/23/2026, also known as July 23rd, which is today. Kyron Brown, 6 feet tall, 185 pounds, from Amarillo, Texas, 3-star wide receiver, rated an 88 overall by 24/7 Sports, ranked the 89th best wide receiver in the 2027 recruiting class, and 92nd best player in the state of Texas. Composite grade has him rated in the top 650 prospects in the 2027 class. So let's read our scouting report here coming from Gabe Brooks, one of 24/7 Sports' scouting analysts. Natural athlete with a strong multi-sport profile. We love to see that. You want players that play other sports because that shows you that they are, I don't want to say, capable of handling more, but you know what I mean. Different sports come with different requirements, and you gotta, your brain has to fire different ways. You like to see it because you don't want people just playing football so they can learn extra stuff in other sports and other areas and other environments. Proves athleticism in testing environment and on the track in his hurdles performance. Respectable production with big play per catch rate. Fairly creative in the screen game and open field simulations. So far, I'm not saying he's as fast as Xavier Worthy, of course, but so far sounding like he's a bit like a Xavier Worthy type of wide receiver where he's a speedy, deep threat guy, high yards per catch player, and someone that you can also throw screen passes to, and he can make a couple guys miss in the open field and make something happen on a play like that. Make it really easy on whoever the starting quarterback is for 2027. Assembled strong performances in multiple live evaluations in spring 2026. You love to have a prospect who rises to the occasion, and when the pressure rises, he knows it's time to go to work, and he's able to make big plays in that situation. Movement patterns can become busy and affect evasiveness and sudden redirection. So you want to make sure you get that fixed. But so just make sure that he moves with conviction, and he once you get to Texas and you're with a different, you would imagine, better coaching staff. I want to be careful because I don't want to shout out in a bad way Palo Duro coaching staff, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say University of Texas has a better wide receiver coaching staff than that. So going to a little bit of some footwork stuff that has to get cleaned up in terms of route running, in terms of release, and in terms of his redirection, because he has the speed, and you're hoping that with his speed comes that evasiveness as well. You just got to make sure you're not wasting any steps when you are running routes to make it easier on the corners who are covering you here. Final point. Power 4 caliber wide receiver who could possibly become a valuable high major pass catching target who can stretch the field from multiple spots. Field stretching wide receiver, think Xavier Worthy, but don't think as good as Xavier Worthy, of course. I think Worthy put up like 800 and something yards in his freshman season. That was amazing. Can't put that type of expectation on Kyron Brown because that would be unfair to him. Let's jump into our next commitment here, coming from Tyler Alexander, who's a nose tackle, defensive lineman, 6 feet 3.5 inches tall, 315 pounds. This dude's already nose tackle size. Oh, that's NFL nose tackle size already. So that is really, really good to see. Maybe a tiny bit light for NFL nose tackle. If there was an NFL nose tackle like your third string nose tackle was 315, you probably wouldn't bat an eye. But he's rated a 3-star recruit by 24/7 Sports, rated an 88 overall, ranked the 63rd best defensive lineman in the 2027 class, and the 37th best player in the state of Florida, coming from Wellington, Florida, currently attending Palm Beach Central. We can see here, ranked pretty highly in the class, almost a top 400 recruit. So he's going to have one more year to hopefully, see if he can get that number up. Start with a 3, get 399 or under, see if you can get into that top 400 recruits for the 2027 class. But this is a big time pickup for Texas. We've been putting out so many defensive linemen into the top couple rounds of the NFL draft. Look at Byron Murphy, T'Vondre Sweat, Alfred Collins, and even more than that, very highly drafted. Other than Alfred Collins, very successful in the NFL, but Tyler Alexander going to come in, hopefully could be the next on that chain of successful Longhorns at the defensive line position. This year, Texas projects to have probably a top 3 defensive line. I hope I'm not being too high there, but Texas's defensive line should be amazing this upcoming season, and we want to be able to keep the prospects in the in the development cycle, if you will. So as soon as guys go off to the NFL, we have more already developed defensive line prospects ready to quickly take their place. He visited Texas this weekend, committed today, had some scary momentum, we'll call it, with Notre Dame. Also visited Georgia. I believe Georgia and Notre Dame and Texas were 3 of his final 4 schools, but I'm not exactly positive about Georgia. You would imagine Georgia would be. Georgia, also a phenomenal program in terms of defensive linemen, really defensive prospects in general, but Alexander chooses the Longhorns over the Georgia Bulldogs, and we are happy that he did. So, got to end this video off with a little bit of bad news for Texas. Nothing too backbreaking, nothing too world-ending, but linebacker commit Cade Hogg decommitting from Texas this afternoon. So we can see at the top of his 24/7 profile, which has not yet been updated, a hard commit from February 2nd, was 3-star linebacker, no longer going to be committed to the Longhorns. So do not be expecting the linebacker from Humble, Texas to be on campus in Austin in 2027. That's what I got for this video. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video all the way through. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hook 'em.